eclipse was yesterday, we're actually like it's eclipse season begins like 2 weeks before the first eclipse, which was a few weeks ago. So the lunar eclipse comes first, and then the solar eclipse is next. So we have the lunar eclipse is on the full moon, and then the solar eclipse is on the new moon. So that was yesterday. And then for several weeks after the eclipse, we still are in kind of that energy of it. So it's really like a few weeks before and a few weeks after that we are in what we call eclipse season. So I did a whole bunch of research to see what the yogis had to say about eclipses and practicing on eclipses, and also just kind of in general. And a bunch of different themes came up, but one of them with the yoga, which I thought was really interesting, is like in yoga, we talk about the word Hatha yoga. So it's kind of an umbrella term that we use to describe a lot of different kinds of yoga as Hatha yoga. And in some traditions, they say that it means, Hatha means moon and sun. So ha and then tha, moon and sun, or sun and moon. And basically it's representing different polarities in the body. So we talk about the left side being the lunar side, and that's associated with feminine, with yin. So all the qualities that would be associated with feminine. So we're not talking about gender. It's like there's certain qualities that are considered feminine, certain qualities that are considered masculine. And then the right side is the solar, masculine, more warming side of the body. So it's like yin and yang, right? And there's a lot of different polarities. And then the word yoga itself means union. So it's about integration of light and dark, polarities, masculine, feminine, of like creating wholeness. And so a lot of the stuff they were saying about the eclipse is that we see this merging of light and dark. So it's about integration. So that's kind of what we're going to work on. Also, the moon is associated with the second chakra. So the second chakra is the hips and the pelvic area, and that's associated with the water element. And we know that the moon influences bodies of water, right? So the moon is associated with that second chakra and the water element. So we'll work on some hip work, as well as this kind of idea of integration. So we're gonna need your blocks. You'll need a strap. And I have a blanket down. We're gonna start on our back. It's up to you if you want a blanket down. It's getting warmer, so maybe you don't really need it. But we'll start on our backs in bound angle pose in a moment. But before we do, did you guys get to see it at all? Did you see anyone see it, the eclipse? A little bit. It was too cloudy. I couldn't see it. I was so bummed. Yeah, for you guys too. Yeah.
Right before.
Yeah. I was so jealous of the pictures I saw, though. I was like, man, I should have just taken off and gone to see it because it looked really cool. So my Brian's parents went to Indiana to the Path of Totality to see it. So I can't wait to hear their experience when they get back. So yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's get started. I'll meet you on your mat, and we'll go ahead and mute. And you can unmute if you have any questions. Okay. I have to take my hat off of the mat. Sorry, Tinkerbell. Okay, so we're gonna go into recline bound angle. That's the one where we do feet together, knees apart, and you're gonna come on your back. I'm going to stay up so I can read some things to you while you come into your breathing. So we'll start in this, of course, is a hip opening posture in our bound angle. So coming into your abdominal breath, your diaphragmatic breaths. And I'm going to share a little reading. So a lot of different things about the eclipse that I'll sprinkle in throughout practice tonight. So the idea that light is slowly taken over by the dark, and then they emerge as one. Then the light appears again, which is very profound. And it's like a metaphor that nothing remains light or dark. A constant interplay of movement and pulsation, a divine dance of the cosmos, if you will. Maybe nothing is all light or all dark. It's the angle upon which one views the subject. Reality can be in the eyes of the beholder, and we see things through our own filters. Blurred lines and boundaries expand and contract in a matter of minutes. And this heightened energy can be exciting, but maybe leaves us a little uneasy. Will our sun come back? The eclipse releases a potent energy and stirs us up. Emotions, both positive and negative, can be heightened, and miscommunication can be possible. It's important to be especially mindful of our thoughts, words, and actions. There can be a profound pull on our consciousness. The eclipse can help us see things in a new light from both sides. This seems like a most needed energy in this time of unrest and division. Might we see how light and dark become one for a very brief pause in time? It's beautiful, powerful, and extraordinary in the overlap. Could we become one in peace and harmony, which is the yogic concept of sattva, when things are very balanced? May we be still and reverent and enjoy the pull toward the one huge energy of sun and moon. And we can set our intentions that this event might shift us toward a more unified presence, and that energy be fueled by love. All right, so we're just going to take another breath or two there, and then we'll get started. Must keep my kitties out, they're not behaving. Sorry, guys. Okay. So from here, we're going to straighten the right leg. Keep the left leg in the same position in bound angle. And then take your arms overhead into a full body stretch. And we're going to cross at the arms holding opposite elbows. And then from here, we're coming into a side bend toward your left. So walk your shoulders, your rib cage, your arms, and your head over to the left. And as we do this, we're opening up the right channel in the body. So the right channel is the solar channel, the masculine side, the sun side. So I want you to breathe into this right side. And you might notice as you open up the one side, that even that side of the nose starts to open, so the nostril starts to get a little more open as we open up the channel. So the yogis talk about these two channels in the body. The whole left side and the whole right side and the right nostril actually connect to the opposite side of our brain, to the left side. And then our left side body and our left nostril connect to our right brain. And said that we have different types of functions in each of the sides of our brain that are associated with these kind of masculine, feminine qualities. Now, from here, we're going to bring that left foot flat and extend the left leg. So now both legs are straight. If you want to go further, walk your feet over to the left, and then you'll get more of a side bend. And if you want, you could cross your ankles. So we come into that crescent shape. We call it sometimes the banana pose. But tonight we'll think of it as a crescent moon. And then breathing again into that right solar channel. And my one teacher loves to use visualization, and he says, you imagine the sun underneath your right nostril, as if you're breathing in the energy of the sun. And when we go to the other side, we'll visualize the moon, breathing in the moon energy. One more breath here. And then we're going to slowly release and come back to the center. So even everything out, uncross your legs, let your arms come down, and then just feel that right side. We just opened up that whole right side body. Take another breath, and then we'll do that on the other side. So now we're gonna bend the right knee into the bound angle, keeping the left leg straight. Feel free to use a block under your knee if you wanna have some support. And then inhale the arms overhead into that full body stretch and grab opposite elbows. And from here, we'll come into the side bend over to the right. So walk your whole upper body over. And you go as far as it feels good for you. Now we're working on the lunar side. Breathe into the left side. We can visualize the moon at the left nostril. We're breathing in the energy of the moon. So both are needed, both the masculine, the feminine, the yin and the yang, both are needed. Light and dark, so lots of different polarities we can think about. Okay, let's go ahead and bring that right foot flat and extend the right leg so both legs are straight. And you could stay right there or walk the legs over to the right and maybe cross your ankles. And then continue breathing into the left side. One more breath. And then we'll slowly release and make our way back to the center. Okay, grab your strap. And we're going to take the right leg up and put the foot in the strap. So we are going to be doing some forward folding later. And we want to get the hamstrings a little more opened up. So we're going to hold here for a few breaths. Walk your hands up your strap so you're close to your foot, but do keep the shoulders relaxed. Flex your foot, spread your toes. So one of the other things that came up in my research about eclipses was about indigenous cultures. And indigenous cultures, at least in the things I was reading, were saying that they took that time to really go inward. They would fast all day and pray and meditate. And because the outer light source was obscured, they would go inward and focus on their own inner light. So that's what I did yesterday. After I was done teaching in the morning, I didn't eat, I fasted all day. And then I did a little yoga. And during the eclipse, I was doing my meditation and prayer. And I'm going to share that prayer with you at the end of class. Some of you might have seen it. I posted it on the Facebook page so that everyone could use it. Now, we're going to start to bend and straighten the leg. So pull the heel down all the way towards your glute. And then we're going to slowly re-extend that leg up. And I want you to do it really mindfully and slowly. Some kind of more of a somatic movement. And try not to go 100% straight. So we don't want to lock out or jam the knee joint. So let's keep it about 90%. Let's do two more like this. So we'll be using some forward folding to get that inner focus. Go ahead and keep that leg up. And now we're going to take the strap into the right hand. Hold close to your foot. Keep your left side grounded and then open the right leg out to the side. So now we open a little bit more into the inner thigh and the inner hip. Again, we'll be doing some of these different poses where we're folding forward. So this is good preparation for that. Reach out through both heels, spread your toes. And let's hold that for 2 more breaths. After your second breath, we'll slowly bring it back up to the center and then release. And let's switch it out to the other side. So go ahead, take your leg up into the strap. And we'll hold it for a bit before we start our bend and straighten. So we just get that hamstring open. Stay with your nice diaphragmatic breathing. And the other thing that came up in the articles about the eclipse was that the eclipse asks us to look at our own shadow. And so the yogis call this samskara. Samskara is a word that refers to all the things that get stored in our subconscious mind that maybe we're not aware of. Things like our memories, our traumas, our experiences. And they kind of live in our subconscious mind until something triggers us, and then we react. Let's go ahead and bend and straighten. So we have to look at those shadow aspects of ourselves. Maybe things that we're not acknowledging, things that we're denying in ourselves, and bring it to light so that we have a better understanding of our own self and what makes us tick. Right? So for example, maybe your partner says something that triggers you and you don't know why you're so annoyed, but you stop to think about it. Usually it's one of those samskaras that are getting triggered. Let's do one more time. We're going to go slowly with awareness, and then we'll keep that leg up. Take your strap into your left hand, hold close to your foot, and we'll open that leg out to the side. And then pause there, reaching out through both heels. Right side stays grounded. And let's take 2 more breaths. And then we'll slowly bring that leg back up and release. Set the strap to the side and take a full body stretch. That's going to be our inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to bring the knees in and lift your head and chest, go into a little ball, and then repeat. Inhale, expand and open. Exhale, hug in. And this is another polarity, expansiveness and then contracting. So yoga, we work with all kinds of different polarities to help bring integration and balance into our minds and bodies. One more. Good. And then we're going to do a roll to the side and come on up into a seated posture. And feel free to sit up on a blanket. We're going to sit for a couple moments. Okay. So sitting up nice and tall, and we're going to take a hand position. This is from the Buddhist tradition, and my teacher brings in a lot of concepts like this, and it's called an enso. An enso is like an open circle. So you're going to make an open circle with your hands, and you're not going to touch. So it's just open in the center. And then hold that, and perhaps you could close your eyes. We're going to take a few breaths. So I'm just going to read to you about the enso. One second. Somehow I lost my, give me 1 second. I want to bring it back up. So what I'd like you to think of while I'm looking this up, I had it open, my cat stepped on my phone. Okay, here it is. So the enso is one of the deepest symbolisms in Zen. It's the revelation of a world of spirit without beginning or end. The Zen circle of enlightenment reflects that transforming experience, perfectly empty, yet completely full and infinite, shining brightly like the moon mind of enlightenment. So I wanted to bring this in because the eclipse, we're also in the Aries season in astrology, which is a new beginning. So it's like a seed of potential. So we're at the new moon, we're at the Aries season, and we're also in the year of the dragon. The wood dragon is also a baby dragon. So it's like a new beginning. So we can plant our seeds of intention for what we want to manifest at the time of the new moon, at the time of the eclipse. One more breath. And then we're going to bring those palms all the way together and bow inward, honoring those seeds of intention. And then go ahead and lift your gaze, release your hands, and circle your arms up and overhead. And from here, side bending, and we're going to go into a flow. So side bend to one side, and then side bend to the other side. And we're going to vary the angle. So now go a little forward, reach forward on an angle. And each time, go to a different position. So maybe in the back now. And let's do a few more rounds. Getting into that side body, into the outer hips a bit. Good, one more. And then come back through center. From here, bring the soles of your feet together and let's come into bound angle. And then again, inhale, circle your arms up. And we'll side bend over to the right. And just hold that for a moment. Keep the chest open, try not to rotate toward the floor. And then other side, side bend. So we'll be doing some hip opening with side bending. And come back up. This time, bring your left foot flat, right knee stays bent. Reach the left arm up and over and reach past your knee, coming into more of a side bending forward fold. And then other side, bringing that right foot flat, reach it up and reach over. Good, and then all the way back to the center. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, hinge and fold. Stay for a few breaths in your bound angle. Just a short hold now. We'll go for a little bit of a longer hold later. Good, slowly come up. And now we're gonna open the feet. So we're gonna stay in bound angle, but open your feet like you're gonna turn them up toward the ceiling. And you can use your hands to start to pull the feet more open. And as you turn your feet open, the legs also open up a little bit, the hips open up a little bit. And maybe you want to fold a little bit, or maybe you want to stay upright. And let's hold that for another breath or two. Okay, slowly start to come up. Use your hands, bring those legs up. Let's come into table and we'll do our 5 cycles of cat-cow and we'll get moving. Okay, so inhale, arching, exhale, rounding. Evening out your inhales and your exhales for some good integration there. And after your 5th round, we're going to come into a nice wide knee child's pose. So take your knees wide, and you can either reach your arms forward or stack your palms under your head. Let's breathe there, another breath. And then slowly walk your hands up, and we're sitting on our heels with our knees wide. That's it, if you can. And if you can't sit like that, you can put a block under your seat, okay? Knees wide, sitting up tall, and again, a side bend to each side. Almost a little continuation of the work we did last week with the side bends and the ribs. Come back through center, bring the knees together. And now we're gonna sit and tuck our toes under and sit up on our heels. I know how much you guys love this one. So we can modify, of course. You can sit up on a block. You can bring your hands down. That'll take some of the weight out of your feet. You could also stick a block under your knees, and that'll make it a little less strenuous on the feet. But if you can sit right on your heels. And then we're gonna try and squeeze the inner feet and inner heels together so that they're not splaying apart. Bring your hands together in front of your heart, lengthen up tall. Inhale, reach your arms up. Good, side bend to each side. And other side. Good, back up to center, release your hands down, stay in the same position, but take the knees wide. So we're trying to keep those toes tucked. Again, if you need to, you could be sitting on a block. So it's opening the feet. So we work with the feet for grounding. Times of eclipses can be a little chaotic energy, and even some of the things I was reading says it can open dark energy, so we don't want that. We want to stay grounded. And so we're opening up the feet. Take one more breath here. Good, and then we'll bring those feet back together. If you have a blanket down, let's take it off the mat. And we're gonna find our first downward facing dog. So take your time, find downward facing dog, and you can pedal it out, move around a little bit for your first dog. Okay, from here, go ahead and inhale into a plank pose. And then come back into dog. And we're gonna make this almost more like a little bit of a wave. Look back toward your toes. And keep your head kind of back. Start to roll forward. Keep your head back, and then let your head unfurl last. Drop your knees to the floor. Send your booty a little high, and we do knees, chest, chin. So chest and chin are coming toward the floor. It's a lot of upper body. Stretch your legs back. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. From here, inhale your right leg straight up. Bend your knee and open your hip so that your pelvis turns right. And let your left heel get a little heavier. Try to keep your chest square, your arms firming in. Now you can stay right here or circle that knee around. One more. And then take that leg straight up toward the ceiling. And then knee to nose, shift forward. Little fire for the Aries season. Aries is fiery. Extend the leg back up. And now step through to a lunge. And from your lunge, bringing your hands up on your front thigh when you're ready. Good. Stay here. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then let your hips come forward. This is sometimes called the crescent moon lunge. Inhale, reach up, and then maybe to the back, and we create that crescent shape. From here, release your hands down to the floor and start to shift into a half split. So we straighten the front leg. You might need your blocks here under your hands, so I'll pull those in just to show that. So if that helps you keep a longer spine, come up on your blocks. Okay, let's hold there, and again, try not to jam the knee down. We're keeping that slight bend. Spread your toes. One more breath here. Now, you can stay here, or the next thing we're gonna do is start to sit back. So you're gonna sit back on your back heel, if you can. Now, if you can't do this, you're gonna stay in the half split, no worries. So always listen to your body. And then you can sit up tall, or you could walk into a forward fold. And if you're still in the half split, you could stay up or go into that fold. Okay, from here, start to rebend into your front knee. Walk your blocks a little forward if you're using your blocks. Lift your back knee. From here, we're going to shift into standing split pose, which is a forward folding inversion. So blocks might come a little more forward. Lift your back leg and then fold over your front leg. Now you might hold on to your ankle. You might keep your hands on the floor or your blocks. And if you push that foot down, you might be able to get your leg to lift a little higher and fold over your leg. Keep your hips firming in. We don't want to let that right hip jut out to the side. Now from here, bring that back foot back down. Come down with the knee down, and then you're going to sit back again onto the floor, but let that foot come out to the side and bring it around to the front. Okay, so right foot is in front, hug the right shin. Inhale, sit up tall, and then twist to your right. Bring your hand behind you. Inhale, lengthen up tall. Exhale, twist a little more. Very good. Hold that one more breath. And then unwind back to center. Cross your right leg over your left leg. So we're in Gomukhasana position. Squeeze the inner thighs together. If this pose is challenging, you can try sitting on your block, or you could go back to cross legs as well. And then from here, right palm down, side bend toward your right. Left palm down, side bend toward your left. Good. Slowly come back up. Extend your legs out straight in front of you. Bend your knees a little bit. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hinge forward, hold on wherever you can, ankles, shins, or feet. And then we're going to inhale, lift up tall, lengthen your spine and almost like a little arch to your back. And then exhale, soften downward. Two more, inhale, lift up. And I want you to think about contracting your legs, contracting your back. And then exhale, softening. One more. Good. Now stay here either with the legs bent, or if you have the range of motion, you could straighten your legs. Sit bones are drawing back behind you, so your lower back is not rounded. And if your lower back is rounded, we need to bend the knees. Press your thighs down, reach your heart forward. And now we go into one of these more introspective poses where we can go inside and really look for those shadows, those samskaras that trip us up, that hold us back from being as full and complete as we can be. Last breath. And very slowly start to come up, swing your legs around, and come back to downward facing dog. Then we got the second side to go. Inhale, left leg up, and we're gonna bend that knee and open the hip, turn the pelvis to the left. You might stay there or circle. Let the right heel come down, circle that knee around. And then extend the leg and step through. We come into that crescent lunge. Back knee down. When you're ready, inhale, circle your arms up. And you might slide into that front knee, lift up and back, creating that crescent shape. Firm the hips in. And then release, hands come down. And we're gonna shift into the half split. With or without your blocks. Again, have a little bend in the knee. Spread your toes. And you can stay right here. Or we're going to start to shift back and sit back onto the heel and come up into an upright position for a moment. Good. You can stay there or walk it out and fold over that leg. Or you can stay in the half split. Let's hold it there, another breath, another forward folding posture. And then we're gonna start to shift into that standing split pose. So start to shift forward. If you're using your blocks, walk the blocks forward. Lift the back knee, and then you're gonna launch into your standing split. And you might be more in a warrior three, or you could fold over your leg. Maybe you're gonna hold on to your ankle. And then if you push that foot down, it'll help lift the other leg. One more breath. Good, and then slowly start to sit back. And we're gonna come into that twist on the other side. So right knee is gonna come out, cross the left foot in front, hug the knee. Inhale, sit up tall, and then twisting towards your left. Keep lengthening up tall, turn a little more. And then come back toward the center. And we'll stack the knees on top of each other, coming into Gomukhasana. So I'll turn around this way. Bring the feet toward opposite sides. Inhale, reach the arms up. Side bend to your right. Good, and side bend to your left. Inhale, come up. Lean back, straighten your legs. But this time go wide with your legs. Inhale, reach your arms up. Side bend to your right. And come up, side bend to your left. Coming up through center and fold. You can stay upright or walk it out. And again, we'll hang out there for a few breaths. And maybe you're gonna close your eyes and go more inward. We're gonna have some longer holds toward the end. Right now, we're gonna just take a couple shorter holds. One more breath. And slowly start to come up. Use your hands, bring your knees in, and make your way around into tabletop position. Take your right leg in front of your left leg. So we're back into that kind of Gomukhasana shape. Knees are in line with each other, inner thighs are crossed. And from here, we're gonna start to shift the hips back. And then with the hips shifting back, walk your arms over to the right. So it's another side bending hip position. Breathe here, another breath or two. So you don't have to sit all the way back, you're just partially back. Good, and then walk yourself back to the center. From here, take your left leg, reach it to the right, and your right arm and reach it to the left, and you're gonna come down onto your left forearm. So the legs are going opposite. So left leg to the right, right arm to the left, and left forearm's down. Let me see, I might turn this way. I don't know if you guys are getting this because this is a tricky position. Okay, so if you need to, you can look here. I'm gonna take that left leg over and then left arm down and right arm over. And then I get a nice stretch through my right hip and side body. Okay, walk it back to center. I wish I could see you guys better. Okay, let's try that on the other side. So starting from tabletop, let's bring the left leg around to the front. So we're in that Gomukhasana. And then we'll sit the hips back and walk the arms over to the left. So you're not sitting all the way back to your heels, just part way back. And then walk it back to the center. Now this time the right leg goes over to the left, right forearm comes down, and left forearm over to the right. Turn your chest toward the floor and reach that arm away from your body. And notice what you feel through that left side. You guys are gonna have to let me know later if you got this one. Once you get it, it feels really good for me anyway. Okay, make your way back around to the center and take a child's pose. Good. Let's hold there for 2 more breaths. All right. Let's come back to downward facing dog when you are ready. Okay, inhale the right leg straight up behind you, bend your knee, open your hip. You can stay there or you can flip over into wild thing pose. So that right foot is gonna come to the floor behind you and then the right arm reaches up. And if you don't wanna flip over, then you just do the down dog hip opener, lift the hips, open the chest, and then flip back around and we're coming into pigeon pose, right knee forward. Okay, so you guys know if you feel any strain in this front knee, put the block underneath this hip or skip pigeon and do a figure 4. Another hip opener with a side bend. So we're gonna keep the left leg back straight and we're gonna walk the arms over to the left and side bend. So you might stay up higher or you might bring the arms and the head toward the floor. Okay, walk yourself back to the center. Let yourself lean toward your right hip so you can swing that back leg around and bring that foot in the front. Grab your strap. Take your strap around the left foot and extend that leg up straight. Good, and then pull with your hands to lift your chest and draw your upper spine in. So just like we did on our back when we did that hamstring opener, you're trying to bring our thigh and our chest a little closer. So maybe you might want to bend your elbows out toward the side. But if you're rounding your back here, then don't bring that knee leg up as high. But if you can bring it up a little higher. Hold there for one more breath. Reach out through the leg. Good, and then go ahead and release. And we're gonna shift into that standing split one more time. So we're gonna shift forward. Blocks if you need them. Lift that back leg up. Maybe holding your ankle with one or both hands, depending on how balanced you feel. And then release your foot down wide. Go wide as your mat and fold over your legs. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale all the way up. Step your feet back in. Exhale, hands to your heart. Very good. Okay, let's do that on the other side. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. You can go right to dog, or you can step back to plank and lower either to a cobra or an up dog. Your choice if you want to lower those knees. Downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up, bend your knee, open your hip. Stay there or flip it over, bringing that left foot behind you and peel the left hand up, coming into Wild Thing pose. Seems appropriate for a solar eclipse to do Wild Thing. Back through the center, pigeon pose. So left leg is forward, right leg straight back from your hip, and then walk over to the right. And you can stay up or you can come down toward the ground. All right, slowly walking it back in. Lean toward your front hip. Swing the right leg around to the front. And then we're going to grab our strap. Place it around the right foot and lift that leg up. Micro bend, spread the toes. And maybe you're going to try and bend those elbows. Lift that leg a little higher if you like. A nice tall spine. All right, slowly release, set the strap to the side and shift yourself forward and into your standing split one more time. Lift that leg up. Push your standing foot down and fold over your leg. Land both feet down, wide as your mat. Fold over your legs. Inhale, let's reach the arms all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Very good. Okay, we're gonna grab our 2 blocks and we're gonna sit on the 2 blocks. So you're gonna stack them up and we're gonna put it in the middle of your mat, somewhere where you can see. And we're gonna sit on the blocks. Okay, first we're gonna take the feet apart wide. So we're doing a supported squat. And then start to lean forward, bringing your hands together and your elbows inside your legs. And then press down into your feet and press your arms into your legs, legs into your arms. Hold that for another breath. We can stay here or fold in. Forward folds are more introspective, which is the kind of the flavor of a new moon and an eclipse time, going inward. Okay, slowly start to come back up. And now this one is something different. I don't know if we've ever done anything like this. We're going to bring the left foot, or the right foot rather, in front, and you're going to be on the ball of your foot and the knees to the side. So I hope you can see that. And then you're going to bring your other foot in front, tuck your toes, and you're going to kind of stack your heels up in line with the center of your body. And you're on the balls of your feet and your knees are open. Good. And then we're going to bring hands to the heart. So it's a little bit of balance here, but you have the block to support you. And then let's take the arms and reach them up and overhead if you can. Keep firming into the glutes and the hips, lift a little higher. Good, and then release, bringing your hands back down to your heart. Good, and then switch your feet, put the opposite foot in the front. So you're turning your toes under, stacking your heels up in line with the center, knees are wide, and then hands to your heart. A little firm toneness into your glute and your hip area, and then take the arms and reach them up overhead. Yeah, it's a little bit of a balance pose. Hold it there, another breath.
I'm sitting my blocks the wrong way.
But oh no, that probably made it a little harder. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we're gonna come off of the blocks. And we're gonna come back into that toe tuck pose. So toes tucked under, and we're gonna take the knees wide apart and see if we can sit up like this. Good, and bring the hands together in front of the heart. Good, and we'll reach those arms up again. This time, interlace your fingers, extend your index fingers, reach up high. Press down into the ground with the feet to lengthen through your spine. One more breath. Good, and release. Bring those knees back together, and we're gonna come to sit down. And if you want, you can be sitting up on a blanket or a folded or a pillow or something, whatever helps you feel comfortable. We're gonna go back into a wide leg position. Okay, point the toes up, point the knees up. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hinge forward and roll your sit bones back so the pelvis tips. And if you're close enough to the ground, you could bring in your blocks to use as a head support. So any level that works for you. And we're gonna stay there for maybe a minute or two and breathe. So going back to that inner focus, looking inward. And I'll share a couple more things about the eclipse while you hold. Okay, so eclipses are said to be major turning points in life, bringing a closure to the past 6 months and a beginning of the next 6 months. It's generally considered inauspicious, so not good, to make any major decisions on the exact day of the eclipse. We're past that. We're supposed to lay low, do spiritual work that day. Eclipse season begins 2 weeks before the first eclipse and ends 2 weeks after the second. So we still have 2 weeks to go in eclipse season. They always come in pairs, which I mentioned earlier. And you can think of the eclipse like an end act of a play, where the lights go down to end one act and then come back up to begin the next. And then we have a few things to consider. How can you now grow from what you've learned over the past cycle? What does a reset mean to you as you head into this next cycle? What themes would you like to experience? In what ways do you want to be more open to receiving life And where would you like to see yourself? What would you like to see grow, evolve, and change? So these are all good things to consider when we're in a major event like an eclipse. Okay, let's slowly start to bring yourself up. Pause when you get to vertical. And then we're gonna be coming back onto our backs. So you're gonna need your strap and something for under your head. So let's go ahead and put a pillow or a blanket down. And you might wanna take a peek at what I'm doing when we get to the main part of this pose we're gonna do. But we're gonna start with a figure 4. I'll show you later what the progression of this. So head down, and we're gonna come into figure 4, right ankle over left knee, and we're gonna take the arms out to a T. And windshield wiper your legs from right to left. And let your head go opposite of your knees. So we didn't get to do a whole lot of somatic in the beginning. We did a little bit. So we're doing a little bit more now. Keep your attention and your awareness on what you're feeling. Go slowly and stay present. So in order to have integration and balance, we have to be in the present moment, not in the past or in the future, but right here, right now. Now, the next time your legs go to the right, let's keep them there. And walk your left foot to the left so your legs come toward the floor. Now, for some of us, this is a little strenuous, so you might consider taking a block under the knee. And that could be either knee or both knees if you want that extra support. If you want to go deeper, no problem. Okay, from here, take your arms overhead like we did in the beginning and hold opposite elbows. And you could stay here, or we're going to add another side bend. So we're going to side bend toward the right knee. So take your upper body and side bend. So we might want to take a peek if you're not sure. I don't even know how this is going to show up for you guys out there. So we're in that figure 4 twist with the legs dropping toward the floor and then the side bend. And now we open up the left channel, the moon channel, the lunar feminine yin side. Let's take a couple more breaths. If this is too much, you can also let that foot go to the floor if it's too much on your top knee. All right, we're going to slowly release, come back to center, even everything out, and take a pause. Okay, let's do that on the other side. Left ankle crosses over, arms out to a T, and we'll start with our windshield wiper, letting your head go opposite of your legs. And again, just move very slowly, stay present. Now, next time you're to the left, stay there. You might scoot that right foot over to the right, let those knees drop toward the floor. Support if needed. And this is already a big pose, but if you want, we're gonna add the side bend. Arms overhead, hold opposite elbows, and then side bend towards your left knee. If you want, you can bring your pillow with, or you can go without. And now we open the solar channel, the right channel. So the yogis talk about knots in our energetic body. They're called granthis. And granthis are blockages in our energetic body in the flow of energy. And so when we do these poses that open up like this, we're hoping to dissolve any of those knots in our energy flow. Let's go ahead, release and come back to the center, even everything out. And now grab your strap. Coming back to right ankle over left knee. And then pull the legs in toward your chest and extend your left leg up and take your belt over the foot. So it's almost like the other things we did when we were pulling our chest and our leg towards each other. So maybe you're going to bend your elbows and draw that leg in a little closer. Try not to round your back though. Keep the spine neutral. So the sacrum is heavy, the tailbone is heavy. One more breath. Good, now release the foot down and take your strap, and if there's no loop in it, put a little loop in it. And we're gonna put the loop around the right ankle. And you're still in your figure 4. So I'll give you a moment to get that. Now, this is the next part that maybe you guys wanna watch. So I'm gonna take my right arm, I'm gonna hold the strap with my left hand, right in that loop. I'm gonna take my right arm overhead into a full body stretch. And then I'm gonna lift my head and tuck my arm around the back of my head, pull that loop in and see if you can grab the loop, and then hold your foot with your left hand. And then if you can, let your head come back to the floor. And you might be elevated. You might not get the head all the way down. See if you could get the head down. And we're in a deep hip opener here. Flex the foot. Make that loop in the strap as big as you need it to be so that you can be comfortable here. And then some of you might start to sneak that left leg out straight. Maybe you're going to reach it and hover it off the ground. Maybe the heel is going to make it to the ground. Maybe your thigh makes it to the ground. And then extend through your spine, through your head and your foot, and breathe. Good, let go of the strap, unwind your arm, and come back to the start. Both feet flat. All right, that's a pretty deep pose, so always take care of your body, do what works for you. Let's do the other side. Left ankle crosses over. And we're gonna pull the legs into the chest and take your strap around your right foot. So we're gonna extend that leg up straight. Both feet are flexed. Tailbone heavy. Maybe you're bending your elbows and drawing that leg closer toward your chest. And keep reaching your tailbone forward toward the top of your mat. One more breath. Okay, release the foot down. Keep the figure 4, and now your strap goes around your left ankle. And if you needed to adjust your loop, you need to make it bigger or smaller. And then left arm is going to go into a full body stretch. And then lift your head, tuck your arm behind your head, and bring that strap. See if you can grab the strap, and then you're going to hold your foot with your right hand. And then maybe your head's making it back to the floor. Maybe you're kind of suspended above the floor. Keep that foot flexed, left foot flexed, and then maybe the right leg extends. Maybe it hovers above the floor. Maybe the heel and the thigh come down. And then extend through your leg, extend through the crown of your head. And let's hold it for 2 more breaths. Think about that knee opening out to the side. We did all that prep work with all that hip opening and hamstring work today. Good, and release. Unwind your arm, let go of the strap, both feet flat. And then let's have both knees into the chest. Rock a little bit. And then reach down, hold your ankles from inside the knees and open the knees into an air-bound angle. Toes might touch, they might not. No worries either way. And then lift the feet up into happy baby, and you can keep holding on to your ankles. And if you want, you can reach up and hold the pinky edges of your feet. Go nice and wide with the knees. And if you want, extend those legs out wide into a straddle if that feels good. Keep the feet flexed and the sacrum pressing down. And then we'll hug the knees back into the chest. Very good. Okay, so we're going to take Shavasana, and we're going to spend a few minutes after Shavasana in a seated meditation. So I'm going to come up to sit. You guys get ready to find your Shavasana, and we'll stay there for a few minutes. As you come into Shavasana, we have another sense of polarity here because we're connecting to the ground with our back body. And we feel that sense of the ground underneath us, stable, safe, still. And then the front body opens up to the sky. And maybe you experience lightness and openness in the front body. So in yoga, we're always making that connection to the ground and to the sky, which creates that length we look for in our seated and standing poses. And again, both are necessary, both that sense of groundedness, but also that sense of expansiveness. And when we work with integrating these polarities, we might feel a little more in that sattvic state, where our mind is calm, mind is spacious, less thoughts cluttering things up, and we rest in peace. So let's take a few more minutes. To rest and release. All right, so I'm gonna start to return so we can finish with our seated breath and meditation practice. So it won't be a super long Shavasana. Take your time, move as you like, and we'll eventually come over onto your side and up into a seated posture of your choosing, sitting up on props if you like. So we're going to do an alternate nostril breathing practice. We've done this before. So as I mentioned, the right side body is connecting up into the right nostril and into the opposite side of the brain. So each side of the body connects to the opposite side of the brain. And when we do alternate nostril breathing, it's very integrating. It's very balancing for our brain. So we're going to bring one hand up and you're going to be using your thumb to block your right and your two other fingers to block your left. So your pinky and your ring on the left. And then the two middle fingers, so your middle finger and your pointer might rest on your forehead. Some people like to curl them down. So whatever feels best in your body. And then you don't have to press real hard. All you have to do is gently block the cartilage on the side. You don't even have to close the nostril. So you can be real gentle. It'll block the breath. So first, just take a breath through both nostrils in and out. Exhale completely. And then we're going to block the right side gently and inhale through your left as if you're breathing in the moon energy. So imagine the moon right under your left nostril. And then pause and focus at your third eye. And then exhale through your right. Open the right. Exhale completely. And when you're ready, inhale right. Pause, focus at the third eye. And that's said to be the joining place of these two channels in the body. Exhale through your left. And now on your own, continue alternate nostril breath. It's much better to go at your own pace. And that third eye is also home to the pineal gland, the pituitary, the sixth chakra associated with our wisdom and our intuition. So when we're fully integrated, we have more access to our inner wisdom. We're going to do one more round. And to finish, you exhale left. And after you exhale left, let your hand come down. Keep your eyes closed and focus at your third eye. Let your face be soft, shoulders relaxed. And now picture in your mind at your third eye, the sun. And then picture the dark moon. So it's a new moon, so it's dark. And now picture the two starting to merge together. The brightness of the sun, the darkness of the moon. And eventually light and dark merge as one. And you might see the corona, which is the sun peeking out, and the tendrils of light peeking out from around the sun. And just focus your attention on that integration of light and dark. And can you help us remember that we all have the light and the dark within us? We need to always acknowledge both sides, not deny parts of ourselves, the shadow part of ourselves. Now we'll bring our palms together, and I'm going to finish with the prayer. And you might continue to focus on that image of the eclipse. So this prayer is written by Lama Surya Das, and he shared this yesterday as a prayer for to do on the eclipse, which is what I did yesterday. It's called the New Millennium Prayer. You can have hands at your heart. May all beings everywhere, with whom we are inseparably interconnected, and who want and need the same as we do, may they be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, safe, and free. May there be peace and harmony in this world, and an end to war and violence, poverty and hunger, inequality and oppression, greed and cruelty, pandemics, famine, droughts, earthquakes, and all kinds of natural disasters. May all be free from fear, harm, danger, anxiety, and insecurity. And may we all together complete the spiritual journey, one beloved community, one circle, one family, all the way home. Let's take an inhale, and as you exhale, bow into your heart. Thank you for joining. Namaste.